Welcome, Ball State Cardinal fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for Cade Hampton's reaction to Ball State's 20-14 win over Ohio on Saturday. And Cade, middle of the third quarter, Nathan Voorhees is putting on a show, but the Cardinals offense has nothing to show for it. Then suddenly they explode for 20 straight points, and they have their first win of the MAC season, 20-13 over Ohio. Big win.
A really massive win for Ball State. It really felt like something kind of shifted yesterday, especially after halftime. I mean, they were underdogs going into this game. I think they were 2 touchdown underdogs to Ohio at home. Obviously, Ohio, the reigning MAC champions, Ball State in a very different place as a program, and to come out there and fight and claw back and win that game and win it in the fashion they did, with the defense shutting out one of the conference's best offenses, and the offense to put together the clutch plays that they did was, I think, a huge win for Ball State. And I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence going into the rest of the season and the rest of the MAC slate 100%.
Kelly to Magwood, that seems to be the answer that they have found.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Magwood entered that game. He only had like 4 catches for 82 yards or something like that on the season. So, the offense had really kind of struggled to get the ball in his hands. And yesterday there were a couple times where there was a play earlier in the game where Kelly hit him on a back shoulder throw, and Magwood made a perfect play to just kind of come back to the ball and grab it. His defensive back fell as soon as he tried to make the play, and Magwood got a nice little catch and run afterwards. I don't think Ball State ended up scoring on that drive. I think that was their drive right before halftime where they got stood up at the goal line. But Magwood, that clutch play for him to just go up, Moss's defender like that, come down, keep his footing, and waltz into the end zone in that moment with the game on the line was really awesome. And you love to see it for those two guys who have been here. Kyle in his 5th season at Ball State, Magwood in his 6th season at Ball State. Both guys entered the portal this offseason. We're not sure they were going to be back here, and ultimately decided to return. And for them to have that moment to get that first conference win was really cool to see.
And then it was Magwood who set up the winning play too. Without his play earlier in the game, they probably don't win on that one either.
He was great. I think he finished with 92 yards and a touchdown catch. So definitely his best game of the season so far. And
he also had a big play in the second quarter that ended up kind of going for nothing. They ended up not scoring after he had a big play. So that drive right before halftime, I thought was really going to come back to bite them. I honestly because they were set to get the ball back in the second half, and they were down 14-0, and they hadn't put anything together offensively in the first half. They had, before that last drive before halftime, I think they had less than 50 or 60 total yards of offense. So that last drive before halftime, I think it went 71 yards and got all the way down to the 1-yard line, but they just got backed up and went for it on 4th down there and didn't get it. So it was the right call to go for it, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting call. I wasn't totally.
Most coaches would have kicked the field goal just to say, let's get on the board.
Yeah.
But I thought he thought we need 7 here, and he was probably right. But
yeah,
it never hurts to have a let's go for it attitude either, even if you don't.
That's how they scored their first touchdown too. They were right down there in the red zone. It was 4th and short again, and it was funny. They had been running Kelly quite a lot on the designed QB runs, and Ohio was really stuffing them down there on that drive. So up in the press box, me and a couple of the other guys were talking, and we were like, you got to try something. You got to roll Kelly out and let him throw it, or you got to try and hand it off to somebody on a reverse. And I was like, these runs at the middle, they're kind of keying in on those. And so when it got to 4th down and they went for it again, and he just took it right up the middle, powered through, found his gap, and then carried some guys in the end zone for the touchdown. So we were just laughing at that point. I was just like, that's why I'm in the box, and Coach Hugh was on the sideline calling the plays. I mean, they just kept trying it, and eventually it punched through. So that touchdown by Kelly definitely gave him some momentum, and then the offense didn't score another touchdown until really that game winner by Magwood, because
They managed another field goal drive that was a long drive, and then they got a safety too. The safety was a big play for wasn't really anything the defense did. It was set up by a perfect punt by the special teams. Adam Saul
That's
booted
right.
one 62 yards right to the half-yard line. And Ohio, I think it was like their second or third fumbled snap that just fell down in the end zone and couldn't really do much about it from there. So they, handed Ball State 2 points and the ball, which Ball State didn't even score after that safety drive. It was the next drive where they finally got Magwood in the end zone. But just a really great game by all three phases.
And Kelly was great too, but of course, we need to talk about Nathan Voorhees, who is now leading the nation in sacks. And I came into the game one of the top, and then had 4 more yesterday, and had even more pressures than that. Every series it seemed he was making a play.
Yeah, Voorhees is just an absolute beast. I mean, I said it in the spring. There was a spring practice I went to, and there were like 3 plays in a row where he got to Kelly twice and then batted down a ball. And I was saying, this guy is just different. Like, he just brings so much juice, so much energy off the edge, and defenses have to be aware of where he is at all times. And he showed that yesterday. He really got after it. I think there was that second sack where he absolutely leveled Navarro, the Ohio quarterback. And I don't think Navarro was really the same after that hit. I don't think he was necessarily like injured or concussed or something, but he just took an absolute lick. And after that play, it really seemed like he was playing a lot more timid, a lot more kind of
Looking over his
reserved.
shoulder.
Voorhees he's a beast, and he should win probably MAC Defensive Player of the Week for that, and would not surprise me if that's not his last MAC Player of the Week award. He might even be, if he keeps things going at this rate, he might even be a contender for the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, obviously it's a long season to go. Don't want to put, high expectations, but if a guy keeps playing like this, leading the country in sacks, I mean, it's hard to pick against him for something like that.
And it kind of changes the outlook a little bit. Not that you think Ball State's going to start running the table and winning all these MAC games, but to have a defensive player who's that much of an impact player gives you hope going into almost every game. Not that you're going to win them all. Speaking of which, at Western Michigan next week, it seems like a tough one. They're playing really well. And then Akron is always a pretty good program as well. So, Northern Illinois, Kent State, Eastern Michigan, Toledo, Miami. Again, no reason to think that you can't be in almost all of those games at the very least.
Like you said, after beating the reigning conference champs, it's pretty clear that in this conference, especially where there's such small margins, it feels like a lot of the time, and a lot of the games are crazy coming down to the wire. Ball State, I think they proved yesterday that they have a defense that is going to help them compete and be in every single MAC game. The offense, obviously, kind of still has some things to figure out, a little bit of a slow start again.
Yeah, if not for big plays, it was ugly.
not the most efficient performance offensively. The running backs also kind of struggled to get going. Quay Ashley, I know, was hurt. He went down kind of early in the game and was kind of limited the rest of the way. But TJ Horton had some really, really nice runs that he put on tape.
Of course, Kelly's the best ball carrier, probably.
Kelly obviously is such a threat with his legs, and they're gonna use that as much as they can. So it's definitely going to be a run heavy offense, no matter what. But I think the defense. I mean, even on those days where the offense isn't clicking at 100%, that defense is going to be able to keep games close, keep them alive, and if they can shut down an offense like Ohio's with Navarro and the level of experience that they have, that defense can really give anybody in the MAC some headaches, I think. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they handle it the rest of the way. Obviously, they got to stay healthy. Got to just, keep the main thing. And especially after a win like that, a big upset win over the reigning conference champs, you don't want your heads to get too big. You don't want to get complacent. I know that was something that Coach Yu was really big on in the post-game press conference. He wanted to see if that team could, come in today and just focus on the film and make sure they treat it just like any other day and turn their attention to Western Michigan. So you mentioned that Western Michigan team is playing really good. They got a big win over Toledo a couple weeks ago, and That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Ball State handles the road in the MAC, because they haven't won on the road. Their wins are at home. Almost beat UConn on the road week before last. So we'll see how they handle the Broncos, but they should have all the confidence in the world after that win over Ohio, 100%.
I want to get to your coverage, Cade. Before I do, I want to let everybody know that on Fridays, Central Indiana Sports Report, we will be talking with Eric and Ryan Robinson about this Ball State win, because I know they're excited about it as well, our college football guys. Everybody go read Cade's game story in the Star-Press. What else are you working on, Cade?
Got a lot of high school sports coverage coming this week. We got soccer sectionals week going on. Yorktown at Pendleton Heights versus Yorktown, a big high school football matchup at the end of the week.
Go check out Cade's coverage at the Star-Press. And please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a Ball State fan in your life, and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. Hey, Susie. You know the Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media?
Oh, yeah?
Mm. Okay. And every day I like to tell my listeners that I love Susie. It's true. Love you, Susie.